Blessings, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We're about to get into these egg rolls. They're easy, they're delicious. Let's get started. This is all the ingredients we're going to need to make this recipe. The full recipe and the ingredients will be in the description box below. So let's get started. We've got a cast iron skillet over medium heat. This is greased in oil to keep things from sticking. I put in some chopped onion and a pound of ground pork, and we're just going to break that up and crumble it just like you would ground beef. And when we're done with that, we're going to move on to our next step. So now that that's broken up, we're going to season our meat. Now the measurements for these seasonings will be in the description box, but I will tell you to be careful with the amount of salt that you put into your meat mixture, because we're going to be adding soy sauce to both the meat mixture and the final mixture, and that has a lot of salt in it. So it's best to just add a little salt now, and then when it's time to finish up, you can check and see if you'd like more seasoning then. We've got our seasoning salt. I have garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, and then we're just going to cook that down some more. As you can see, our meat's starting to brown. We're still breaking it up into little pieces to make sure that it fully cooks through one, and number two, so that it fits easily into our egg rolls. You want to make sure that it's cooked through, it's fully brown, no longer pink anywhere, and you should be set. Now that our meat is finished cooking, we're going to add some soy sauce. And this is just a little bit, but it's going to make sure that you have full flavor throughout your entire egg roll. This is what gives it, you know, that little bit of pizzazz. So we're just going to add that and then mix that through. So I let that cook in there, just make sure I got it all evenly distributed for about maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And now that we're done, we're going to take that off, drain that meat, and put it to the side. Now we took our skillet off and we cleaned it, and now we're back. So I have some pure sesame oil. You can use other types of oil, but that sesame oil has that extra level of flavor that's really good. I have both minced garlic and fresh minced ginger. And as you can see, my pan was too hot. Don't do like me. Don't do this. My pan was too hot. So I had to take it off for a little bit and just to let that heat down, because you don't want to burn that at all. So now that it's at a reasonable heat, we've moved it back and we're adding in that whole bag of cabbage mix. So we're going to just move that around the pan for maybe a minute just to get it mixed in with the garlic and the ginger. And now it's time to add some soy sauce. You want to add a generous amount, but not too much. You want to make sure that the cabbage gets fully coated, because this is what's going to help it wilt and get softer. And we're also going to season this mix. So it's the same seasonings I use on the meat: the ground pepper, the garlic powder, onion powder, and seasoning salt. And like I said in the first clip, be light on your salt, because you don't want this to be overly salty. There's not a lot you can do to fix salty food, so it's best to just, use in moderation at first. So now that we've added our seasonings, we're going to mix that down a bit. This is the most important step for your cabbage mix. This is actually some table sugar, and that's going to cut the bitterness of that cabbage. So we're going to cook that down for maybe about 5 more minutes, and now we're going to add some chopped green onion. And we're just going to mix that in as well. This step is optional, but I do like to add some crushed red pepper just to add a little bit of spice to my egg roll. Now that our cabbage mix has cooked down, we're going to take that pork mixture that we had on the side and actually add that back in. Once that's added, we're going to cook it for another just about 5 to 7 minutes. This is going to help, like I said, keep that cabbage from being super hard and crunchy. Now we're going to take it out, put it in a strainer, and put that to the side. Let this mix cool on the side for maybe 15 to 20 minutes to keep from ripping our egg roll wrappers. Now it's time for our rolling process. So I like to use a cutting board. It just keeps it from sticking and making a mess. The first thing we're going to do is make an egg wash. So I took 1 egg and I put it in a ramekin and I put about maybe 3 tablespoons of water, and we're just going to whisk that up. The egg wash is actually what's going to help us seal the egg roll so it doesn't become unraveled while it's frying. So we're going to place one of our wrappers down, and I actually got this tool from Dollar Tree. It's super helpful, but we're going to use that to put the egg wash on all 4 sides of the wrapper. This is a 1/4 cup measuring cup, and this is what I'm going to use to scoop out the amount of filling that I want in each of my egg rolls. And we're going to take that scoop of mix and put it right in the center, and then we're going to start rolling. You want to make sure you get all your mixture in the middle and none on the egg wash part, because that's going to keep your egg roll from sealing. So we're going to take the bottom corner and we're going to fold it over top of the mix in the middle. You want to make sure that it's completely covered by the wrappers. And if you've ever rolled a burrito, it's kind of like that. So you're going to make sure you fold up both of the sides. And as you can see, I'm pushing it down to make sure those are sealed. Tuck it and roll it just like that. And once that's done, I make sure to push down the outer side to make sure everything's nice and sealed. And then we're going to set those to the side on that baking dish. And we're just going to continue this process until we run out of wrappers. And here's me showing the steps again, just in case you didn't catch it the first time. It's relatively easy. It's not really something hard to do, but that's why I use the 1/4 cup measuring cup to prevent me from overfilling it. So that also helps as well. But yeah, you just tuck the corners like that, and then you just make sure it's all snug like a little envelope, and then you roll it just like that. Once you've done wrapping up all your egg rolls, it's time to fry them. You can use a deep fryer, but I like to use a skillet. So I fill it up with enough oil to barely cover the entire egg roll. And so once those are in there, we're just going to let them fry. It usually takes about 5 minutes. They fry relatively quickly. So once those start cooking, we're going to start flipping them around and make sure they get evenly brown on all sides. To the side, I do have a baking pan with a cooling rack over it, and that's where I'm going to put these once they're done frying to make sure to get rid of all the excess oil. But as you can see, they're all nice and brown, so we're going to take those out and move them over. Like I said, guys, the frying is the quickest part. So that was our final step. Now it's time to serve. I like to use this sweet chili sauce. I think it pairs really well. You can dip it in soy sauce or whatever you like, but this is my favorite. Well, we've made it to the end of our video. The full recipe is in the description box below. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.